Are we back? Are we back yet? I gotta say, I was really enjoying myself. I was just vibing without a care. And I'm back. Okay, I'm back. We're back. Okay. Um, that's really annoying. Okay, so my computer just kind of refreshed. I don't know. Maybe it was thinking to itself, I'm tired of this. I'm back though. And I'm not letting my computer decide. You don't own me, machine. I own you. You do what I say. And that's your purpose. You pass butter. Okay, so that was fun. I'm pretty sure at this point it's all gone. It's all gone. My viewers, my channel, it's all coming crashing down around me. But it's fine. I'm just gonna reload Nuclino and keep going. We're not gonna. Who cares? 2 streams in 1 day? You spoil us, Parker. Anyway, let's try this again. Let me pull this back up. What happened even? Is it gonna pull up again? Hey! Alright, so here is my uninterrupted tangent. Nothing even happened. Don't even worry about it. I have myself here a little document that says the Nexum. So, okay. The bookshelf. Let's say, I thought of a funnier analogy. Let's say that you bought a bookshelf on Gumtree recently, and you need to get it down the stairs. You need to get it down the stairs, and you're at the top of the stairs, and Marvin, I think it's Marvin, right? Randy Feltface, enjoyers in the chat, help me out. You're trying to get this bookshelf. You're trying to push it down the stairs. You're at the top. Morgan is his name, and Morgan is at the bottom. Morgan is at the bottom, and he is bracing it. No, that's not even how that story goes. Okay, I'm taking this opportunity to test out one of my little scenes here because I need to reset. I set that up so terribly. I need to bail. Okay, 1 second. Hello. Oh. Hello, hello. Let me double check that it's actually coming in through my proper channel here. Should be. How is it now? How is it now? Is it better now? I'm embarrassed. How is it now? Is it better now? I can't. Okay. Can I sound as good? All right. Thank you, Micah, and thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. I can't believe I stood here doing for like how long? I've been live for 10 minutes. Okay, so note to self. The next time my computer decides to take a coffee break, what do you mean super quiet? I'm talking right into it. Is it better? How about now? How about now? Better now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me eat this pickle? Well, I turned the gain way up. Okay. Let's try this. Could be louder. I can be as loud as you want. What do you mean I could be louder? Okay. Heard it. As long as the pickle test truly is the last one you need, you know? So if the pickle test works, then I think I'm satisfied. Okay. Let's try this again. I did a whole joke. Hi, number 13th. Glad you're back. Did you see me flounder around as a mime for 10 minutes? I sure hope not. But it's fine. We are going to just, like nothing even happened, okay? I wrote it down live on stream, so at least there's that. I'll read it to you, actually, to create another level of immersion. Let's try it. Channelers can harness the power of the Nexum to create and transmute properties of elements. If a channeler pushes themselves too hard, they will lose control. So let's say that you're trying to set it up right. If you set it up, but you push too hard, it's going to tip over the edge. It's a balancing act. So if a channeler does this, whether they're in combat fighting with the Nexum, or if they're just trying to, like, I don't know, lift a big rock, it can backfire, and you will go into a vegetative state. There's no pretty way to say it. In the world of Mythogra, this is referred to as going lump. It's when your brain gets fried from overuse / lost control of the Nexum. So this is a very tragic fate that befalls mages. I close the window. Let's try this again. This is it's a grisly fate, because you're basically, you're brain dead at this point. You're out of there. So I'm glad, Dad, if you're enjoying it, if you're enjoying the absolute ramshackle junkyard live stream that this is, then I'm happy. Then I can go to sleep tonight fulfilled in my purpose. It's really all I care about. So cool. The Nexum is dangerous, and if you don't treat it with respect and train your expertise, safely, it will hurt you. And the best way to describe like training with the Nexum is, it's like, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of a specific example from a movie. Oh, there's a new message in chat. What if instead of meditative, they go kind of insane and start magicking all over everyone? I hate it when they go, it's magicking time, and they just magic all over the place. That's a fun idea. Like, it could kind of pull you over into madness. I do like that idea. There can be multiple symptoms of like kind of when you push too hard, and there's like a split, like a schism in your psyche that slowly, unless you can get it mended through some means. Number 13, how can I elucidate this for you? How can I make it more clear? Because this is truly, yeah, I'm just kind of spitballing. Everything I think about makes perfect sense to me. But as we know, communication is not what is said, but it's what is understood. So if I can make it, if I can explain something a different way, please do it, or please ask, or please tell me what to explain, because I will do it. I will do it for free. Okay, let's add this in. Let's go. Multiple negative side effects can incur as a result. So you can be lump, or you could be you can, hang on, let me, trust me on this. How do I make a table? Let me make a, there it is. Going lump, going insane and magicking all over everyone. Next, some madness. That's good. That's good. Let it be known that on this day we cooked. Yeah, don't worry about it. 13th. Once you find kind of what exactly you need, I will focus on talking about that. I have absolutely no, as we've established, I don't have a plan. Do I look like the kind of guy with a plan? Somewhere on Instagram, there's a video of me in like Joker makeup doing a really bad impression of the guy who doing a really bad impression of the Joker. You know the one I'm talking about. I'm the Joker, baby. That guy. You just gave me trauma from that, all of you. Okay, magic-induced hangover. So, okay, when you have a... That's okay, so that's kind of actually what that's going to happen at some point in the story. Perio, she's going to have to do something. It's going to be saving her friends that this happens in. Like, kind of in the fun and games section of the Save the Cat formula. So I'm glad you said that, Revan. Because, yeah, if you push... and it's like, it didn't kill you, but it didn't feel too good either. You're definitely going to have, like, a little bit of some strain that's going to kind of limit your ability. In the short story that I wrote, Perio uses her magic throughout, and by the end, she is, like, fully tapped out. She is, like, it puts a lot of strain on her mind, and her in particular for a different reason. I have to talk about this part while I have people to actually hear it. So Perio is basically the main character of the whole novel, and the main character of the short story as a result. Like, she was the first character for this universe. Let's talk about her life, shall we? So she was raised in a modest farming town by her parents. Father, or actually let me just say father, who is a human, and his name was Jaren. You know, this is not an Earth name at all. This is a name that he was given or decided for himself he wanted to have as a result of him coming over to this world. Jaren was, in his past life, we'll call it a past life, a con man. And I'll say used, spoiler alert, used his skills in the fantasy criminal underworld. So he was able to leverage his gift of gab, his sneakery, into a career in the criminal underground. So he gets wrapped up with a bad group of dudes known as the Unforgiven. All right? The Unforgiven is like a mercenaries guild. And they oh, my camera died. Okay, hang on. This is funny because I don't know what causes this. I literally just have to turn it off and turn it back on again. And we're back. That's always fun. I'll try to check that more often too. I need to get another monitor. That's what I need. Dude, I'm sitting here like, I can't manage all my tabs. I literally just need another monitor. Micah told me that at one point too. He was like, all the best streamers need to have 2 monitors, Parker. You're trying to, trying to be somebody. You gotta act like it. I don't know why anytime I like make fun of Micah and give him like a character, it's always like a frat boy from Boston. I don't know why. I don't see you that way, Micah. I don't see you in any kind of negative way anyway. I'm not trying to stereotype you. I mean, this is a man who spent the formative years of his life doing IT for Walmart. So, nothing but respect for him. Like I just have to make that disclaimer. I hope you're still watching. This is my way of checking if you're still watching. Like if you just got it on in the background while you're playing SnowRunner. You goober. Okay, let's get back to this. What was I saying? Okay, so the Unforgiven. This is going to go at some point in the world section under like guilds. So the Unforgiven is a mercenary guild that buys debt from wealthy benefactors, and they use basically the debtors as mercenaries. So let's say that you borrow a lot of money from a guild hall master, like a guild master, and he is like, all right, so you're gonna take this money, you're gonna go buy me a lot of swords with it, and you're gonna come back. And you say yes. So you're entering into a legal contract. There is actual capital and resources at stake here, and you skip town with the money. Now, let's say that you spend the money on Magic Blow, and you don't have it when the Unforgiven comes to find you. Because what did that guildmaster do? He called up his local Unforgiven contact and said, hey, I got a guy. He's trying to skip town on me. Go get him. He pays the Unforgiven to go to where you are. They'll track you down, they'll find you, and they'll capture you. They employ some of the best thieves and trackers in the realm. So you're cooked at that point. The Unforgiven finds you, and they go, all right, where's the money? We were paid a certain amount of money to find you, so we need some of that back in the form of what you stole. And then you have to be like, yes, I don't have any of that. I spent it all. So they hit you over the head, and they bring you to one of their secret hideouts, and now you have to work for them to pay off the debt. And they have a criminal enterprise that spans the realm across all the different kingdoms, kind of like the Thieves Guild from a certain game that I will not name. And you can spend your whole life paying them back, because they do kind of move the finish line on you. That happens quite often, especially depending on like the severity of your crime. There are some people that work for them that will never be done. They will be forced to work and do crimes for them until they die. And it's also worth pointing out that like if you get captured on a job, if you get thrown in jail, you're not making it out. The Unforgiven goes to great lengths to protect its secrecy. So if you get caught, if you mess up, dunzo. If you betray them and try to leave and escape, dunzo. If you screw up on the job, like if somebody goes, hey, I'm your boss, you go shake down this blacksmith for protection money, and you end up getting into a scuffle with this blacksmith and burning down his workshop, dunzo. There's zero tolerance for failure. So this is one of those situations where it's like you have to be afraid of a man who is old in an occupation where men die young. I don't remember the analogy. It's in a movie, probably with like Sam Elliott in it. I don't know. Sounds like something he would be privy to. Yeah, basically it's a bad group of people. So he gets wrapped up with these people. He steals money from them. And he ends up, through a turn of events that I will stop just kind of talking around and write down, gets wrapped up in this. So, as established, the elves, or the Jeks, they age slowly. Because Perio is half human, half Jeks. She ages at the same rate as like a Jeks would. Her human like physiology at this point is going to grant her basically like a harder time accessing the Nexum, because it's like only half of her is born in that. So she has some of those inborn skills, and all she wants is to be a mage. So let me go ahead and let me this is going to be really disorganized, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's disorganized, because this is straight up just this is a page for reference. Okay. We're going to take a bullet within a bullet on this one to say, no, that was the wrong one. I meant to do this one. I meant to do this. Yes, this one. So Perio is limited in her magic ability, practices every day, and struggles. Like she's it's difficult for her to like work those muscles, as it were. So basically, Perio's mother is extremely undeveloped in the narrative so far. I have to figure out if she serves a purpose beyond just being dead when the story begins. So we'll just say that at some point, Perio is living with her father, just them. So he like loves her. This is a classic like crooked guy but good dad archetype character. And that'll be up for debate, kind of depending on how you feel about the stuff he's done. So basically, Jaren sends Perio. I can't type to save my life. Good lord. Sends Perio to an expensive mage college with their life savings. So Jaren is all of a sudden in the money. He's like got all this gold. He's like, hey, this is our dream for you to go to mage college. You need to learn how to harness your gift because you're amazing and I love you. And she is like, heck yeah, Dad, let's do it. So she goes, and she is there. Perio spends like a couple of years at least practicing, but she gets expelled from the school. Expelled because of racism. And, that's a placeholder. But that's basically part of it. This is like a school for the Jeks. She's half human. It's not easy to tell, but as soon as the news is out that she is, of impure blood or whatever, we got a real Hogwarts muggle situation. So she's gone. She gets expelled, and that is definitely not the only reason, but I haven't thought of it yet, so we'll move on. She is able to make it back to the town where they live. Turns to her hometown, dejected and alone, when she is abducted by agents of the Unforgiven. Ooh, what a twist. She has lost, at her present time, the most important thing to her, which is that she wanted to be a mage, and she failed in her mind. She learned a lot, but she got kicked out of school. That's like kind of the end-all, be-all, right? It was so expensive, she's thinking she'll never have that much gold again in her life. But, what happened? What happened? Okay, sure. She comes back to her hometown, and waiting at the gates for her, basically, are the agents of the Unforgiven. They, knock her out, take her back to their lair, and the leader of that branch of the Unforgiven basically explains to her, like, hey, so your dad stole a lot of money from us. And judging by you wandering back here like a kicked dog, I'm assuming you don't have any of that money. And she has to be like, what do you want me to say? Like, no, I don't have the money. And they go, that's what we thought. So you work for us now. Having a Nexum channeler is going to be really helpful for us. We're going to give you a lot of really cool and dangerous jobs. So that's how she starts her life as like a spell slinging rogue. So she goes from like just a kid trying to earn her place among like the mages. She gets kicked out and rejected, comes back to find that her father is dead. He is now left her with an insurmountable debt, and yeah, it's like, really bad. What's she gonna do now? She has to figure it out. So she is conscripted into the guild and forced to do their dirty work. Okay, so this goes on for some time, and at some point during her tenure with the Unforgiven, she is in an accident. Like a job goes awry, or somebody attacks her, that basically there's an explosion. That's all I've written, is that there's an explosion, but it causes her to lose her arm. So she gets suckered and her arm gone from the shoulder down. Okay? She is at this point thinking, they are going to kill me. I can't channel the Nexum with only one arm. And to clarify that, basically the Nexum manifests through your hands. That's like the whole thing. You can't cast spells with your feet, no matter how much the rule of cool wants you to. So she needs both of her hands. She loses her arm. She's thinking, oh my god, I'm toast. Like, they're going to kill me. They're not going to keep me around if I can't do my job. But the geniuses in the Unforgiven's like quartermastery, they take her arm and they recover her hand from the side of the accident. The middle part of her arm, I'm showing my arm, right? This would be a lot easier if you could see my shoulder. But in a way, it's kind of perfect, because like this is all she has. She has her torso, her shoulder, and her hand. So they create for her a bionic arm that is basically just grafted up into her shoulder, and they take her severed hand and they attach it to the end of this like metal elbow, so it gives her like two matching arms again. She channels the Nexum through her arm, and it allows her to move her hand. The flesh is dead, but because she's basically hooked it back up to the Nexum in her body, the flesh does not decay. It does not feel pain or any kind of sensation, but she can still manipulate it like a puppet. It's basically being charged with electricity. Do you remember when they thought that, you had to use electricity to reanimate corpses? I'm butchering that. It's like, historically, the guy did the experiment where he like brought a frog back to life because he was just poking it with some electrodes and it was hitting the neurons that were like, you know, the nerves, and like manipulating it to look like it was flopping around. Same kind of premise, except it's the life energy being transferred back. There's no way for her to like regrow her arm. That's not how the Nexum works. So she basically can walk around like looking like a normal person. She can still use her hand to do stuff. And she is able to, you know, cut pockets and do all that stuff. All right. Another kicker about this, because she is constantly having to like focus on the arm to use her hand, it's like a constant strain. It's like if you're stretching your muscles to grow them stronger, it would be like if you had to constantly hold like a calf raise in the negative every second you wanted to walk around. Like you could do that in short bursts, but it's very hard to sustain, right? So she is like having to do this all the time to use her hand. When it's not in use, when she's not actively pushing Nexum through her arm, like at her shoulder, it's literally just like a dead appendage. Like it stops by her side, and she can't take it off. It's not like a prosthetic that you can like remove, not like a modern one. So it's like it's just at her side until she activates it and can bring it up. So it's like kind of an inconvenient way to live, but this is bound by the limitations of the world. So not everybody gets to live in like the ship from WALL-E, unfortunately. It is unfortunate. Like she's getting, you know, kind of pushed around like crazy. But you know, the dungeon masters in the chat know this. It's called character development. So that's where we're at. Let me get back to my Be Right Back screen so I can be right back. Go ahead and walk around, stretch your legs for a second. That's what I'm going to do. This is a taxing job, sitting around looking at a screen all day. That's crazy. Okay, be right back, folks. we're back. Nucleino is gone. There it is. Nucleino is back. Hooray. Okay, while I was away for a moment, I looked all over my office without, like, moving my PC, because my bookshelf is kind of catty corner to my desk, and it's hard to move stuff around, and I have a lot of delicate placements at the moment. But I'll find it at some point. I will find it after probably I'm done streaming, and I'll get it ready for next time. My bumper sticker from the Dad the Dungeon Master Mercantile Emporium. It's really funny, and I won't tell you what it is, like, actually, because I'll show it, and that'll be better because you can see it. But if you haven't already, go subscribe to Dad the Dungeon Master. Like, come on. So where were we? Let's try this on for size. Reading the last sentence I typed. That ought to do it. Yeah. So she is forced to do their dirty work for the Unforgiven. She's got a massive debt to pay off. At some point, she loses her arm and receives her bionic implant. She has the what would you say? Organic shoulder, bionic, like bicep and forearm, bionic bicep, elbow, and forearm, and organic dead hand. So yeah, I basically was just like thinking to myself, people lose their limbs all the time. Can I subvert that trope a little bit? Because I'm all about that. I'm all about changing your expectations. That's why, I'm actually doing something with my life at the moment instead of just, writing and keeping it all to myself. So here's the general premise. She has taken some serious hits in life. When we find her at the beginning of the story, she is going through the motions. She has been in the Unforgiven's stead for years now because she ages slower than like the humans around her. It hasn't been very long. It's only been like 12 years, which would kind of put her age-wise about like 26, 27. She is like still very much because when you're talking about how like they progress maturity wise, like physical maturity, elves in D&D reach physical maturity like 35 years old, and they kind of get like older but at a much slower rate, and they basically have like an inclination to kind of be just like wise beyond their years. Like Halsin in Baldur's Gate 3 is like 350 years old. He could be your dad, just kind of the way he like looks and talks and stuff. So she looks to be about like mid-20s. Dad the Dungeon Master asks, what is the level of technology? Let's talk about that. I'm not sponsored by anyone or anything, but if I had to name drop a product or brand that I love and support, wink, it's this is the best campaign setting for D&D. I will take no contests to that. No arguments are necessary, as this is the only correct answer. Eberron, Rising from the Last War. It's the best because it has a perfect blend of classic D&D stuff and like growing advanced technology that makes sense in the context of the world. So let's talk about it. This is the setting where the Warforged were introduced. The Warforged, the Autognomes, which are so fun to play. If you never played an Autognome in D&D, do yourself a favor and do it. There are trains, and there are like airships, and there are giant mech suits and stuff like that. But it's all, powered by materials and the magic of the world. So we're gonna call it close to Eberron. Excuse me. There are going to be like trains and aerial vehicles. We haven't gotten to automobiles or anything. People still ride horses in like the more rural areas. People are definitely using their hand plows and their carts and other things to sow. Rudimentary Nexum channeling happens in the form of like maybe you have a farmer, maybe he needs to dig a trench or something. He can kind of use magic to assist with that. But unless you have like specialized training, or you just really lock in and do nothing for like 6 years, but you can't do that in a normal life. You have to sustain your family or whatever, all that stuff. Yeah. So I had a point. I had a point to that. Yeah, okay, so technology in the rural areas, it's going to be like just classic Dungeons and Dragons kind of countrysides. You've got manual labor being done by hand, like horses pulling wagons and stuff. In the bigger cities, and I've talked about this a little bit in another part of the document, in the world section, the city-states. So let's talk about some of these for a second. This will kind of help expound on the technology parts. So Coalfell is a major industrial site. This is like ore refineries and mining. So Coalfell, it basically is built in the cliffside of this huge mountain range, and the town like is like on supports, and they have these massive refineries that are powered by Nexum energy. But they're also discovering that, hey, we have materials in the ground here that can be used to create other forms of energy. So coal is the alternative energy in this universe to like the Nexum. Because if you think about it, the Nexum is like way, way more difficult to channel, and it's much more inaccessible. But coal, it's like you can just swing a pickaxe and you break this rock open, and now you can light your house and be warm for, I don't know how coal works. How much is a lump of coal actually going to last? I don't know. But you get my point, is that it's kind of a newer thing. And so, they're able to do that to power other forms of transportation. Like the Nexum is kind of hard to tap into for everyday use, but like you could have somebody at the front of a train pulsing their power into it to run it, but now we have coal. Now we have like an engine, and it's not going to be probably called coal either. That's the problem. Like there's a level of balance I want to hit with like human words and Mythogra words. It's like some creatures are going to have names because they've been popularized by humans coming to this world. So it'll just depend on which things I decide to kind of shake up with that. So Coalfell, yeah, it could be coal. Why not? Maybe humans found coal in this world. Something funny like that. But yeah, that's about the level of technology. If that sums it up, yeah. And again, it makes sense to me, but I don't know. I don't know how well that translates exactly. But yeah, no. This is the best D&D setting. That's just that's like if I had to make a bulleted list of the points, the takeaways from today's stream. There it is. Let's also talk about, I mentioned in Eberron, you've got like the Autognomes, which are like little robot dudes, and then the Warforged, which are bigger robot dudes. Let me know if you've heard of this, if you've kind of encountered this in your everyday life. Let's see. What I had the window open. Here it is. I pulled this up. So gonks are hilarious. I love these. Michaela loves these. She's obsessed with these little dudes. They are inspired by oh yeah, they are mythical creatures. And the Christmas decoration thing, I can't find. Okay, yeah, no, the United Kingdom in the 1960s, that's where these kind of became from. So in the folklore, they're like little fey tricksters, I guess. But in this world, they're going to be basically what the dwarves normally are in fantasy. So they're going to be the ones who create these larger than life structures because they are truly tiny. Let me pull this up again. In the racist section, gonks, they are wicked small. Like stand up in the palm of your hand type guy. So they work in these mechanical suits. Like they are absolutely crazy with the amount of stuff they can make. They can build it in a cave with a box of scraps. That's how smart they are. So their technology is like ahead of what like, you know, a colony like of mostly dwarves would have, right? So that's kind of where we're at with the tech side. Well, check this out. Trying to finalize my world building, says Revan, before I continue with the plot beats. I am roughly 40% locked on the Save the Cat beats. Do you mean like the first 40% of the novel? Because I'm jumping around like crazy too, with like my world building. Like I have the first couple of like major locations. Let me go back. I can talk about this too. So Glorious is the name of like one of the major city states. This is the setting for the short story. The short story was called A Glorious Heist because it was a heist that took place in the town of Glorious, because I am a comedic genius, and also because I started writing like a D&D module where you had to infiltrate this king's castle and steal his treasure, but there were like a couple of plot twists that adapted really nicely into a narrative. So that's kind of what I did with that. Why did I say that? Revan actually brings up like an actual conversation piece, and I go, that's great, but actually, let's ignore it. Sorry. 40% locked in. Okay, yeah. So 40% locked on the Save the Cat beats. The world building stuff, okay, so yeah, I'm really intrigued by your premise, like what the world building is going to be, because mine was supposed to be set in an alternate Civil War. Or no, it was like the post-Civil War. Like the Civil War had ended. It was going to be like in an alternate United States. So, Revan, if you please, what's your vibe? Are you thinking this is going to be sort of like inspired by history, or have we created like a new setting for it? I would love to hear about that. The green screen is fun for things like this. I can get really crazy with it. Earth, if the technology never aged past the cowboy era and magic took over the world. All right, excellent. Okay, what year are we thinking? Like the cowboy era, that's got to be like very late 1800s, very early 1900s, like, because they were still doing cattle drives and stuff in certain parts of the world, like at the turn of the century there. So I'm assuming we got locomotives, we got at the very least like the Model T, maybe. When was that invented? Let's look that up. Wait, or just first automobile. Ben's, I don't like to do this. It's just right here. I'm sure nobody on Reddit made like a meme thread about the history of the automobile, so I'm going to assume that this is correct. 1886. Let me actually read a source on this. Like, let me go to Wikipedia. We're trying to get some serious, credible sources here. In 1649, a clockwork-driven carriage? That's awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were cooking with this as early as then. Either way, the actual modern, like, okay, steam-powered. You have 1801. That looks like a little train. Electric motors kind of popped up. Okay, so we're going to ignore everything past 20th century and stick to this. So, like, 19th century. So that's the 20-aughts. No, that's the 1800s, the 19th century. I'm so smart, you guys. Anyway, wait, let me check chat, because you could be talking and I'm... Trains are rare and only found in large cities, and in my story, small towns did not have them. Horses and carriages. Excellent. Okay. I hope you have plans for, like, a sequence involving a train. Like, if somebody's thinking, we gotta get on that train. I got a plan. It's a magical plan. We gotta get on that. I don't know. So, yeah, like, that'll be fun, especially if they're rare. Like, yeah. Especially if they're, like, you know, rare and formidable. Like, with the magic, like, you can get crazy with that. Like, it's not just a train. If it's a magic train, it's got, like, magic guns. I don't know. Something crazy. I wanna see, like, inside your brain on that one. I love the idea. Very large gang crime world happening. Classic. You gotta have it. Outlaws and bootleggers and the like. You said your main character, hang on. So it was like, that was in the old stream. It's all gone now. I don't remember what exactly you said. Is your protagonist a kind of like a morally dubious individual, or would you say that he is straight up like gang/crime? Red Dead Redemption 2 is always my point of reference for things like this. I've never played it. Don't even. I don't want to hear it, Micah. Calm down. He has done the best with what he has been dealt. Yeah. Got to make the best out of your situation. Magic in the world halts technological progression. So how long would you say they've been trapped in this kind of like magical Wild West, unable to kind of innovate beyond what they have? If there's a magical war going on, ooh, wow. That's a lot. That's okay. So here's the thing. I was thinking that you were going to say like, oh yeah, like not long. Like the story takes place up to it and then, but that's really cool. So if you've got enough of a basis there to be like, this is how the infrastructure has been. Oh, okay, yeah. Because then if it's like cowboy times plus 500 years, 2300s, 2400s at least. Because yeah, the idea of cowboys being like, man, I haven't had a drink this strong since the summer of 2200. You know, like there's a lot we can do with that. That's funny. Year of our Lord 2347. I love it. 2347 is gonna be like the 500th anniversary of some of this stuff. Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think like. Yeah. Okay. So you've got an antagonistic force of demons. That's like the big question, right? Like how they've kind of kept everything locked down. I'm assuming that's kind of the angle you're going. Like if it's humans versus demons, and there's bound to be infighting with the humans, because there always is. That's a big part of my story too. Because humans can be kind of spastic and hard to kind of what do you call it? Slow to trusting, a little bit difficult to get along with when survival is a major question, you know. Interesting. Demons as pawns. larger bad guys that are humans? Because you said shamans earlier. I remember that. Like, because shamans, that's like... I'm not cultured enough to define shamans, but I just kind of... Gods. Got it. Okay. The gods are... shuffling the pieces around the board. They have their demons. They have their demons to do their bidding. Yeah. Yeah. I'm loving it. I'm excited. I'm assuming that, like, this class is going to be funny because I'm assuming that the lecture content is going to be over the book. We're going to kind of, like, spend the first 3 weeks going through the setup part of it. When we start turning stuff in, it's going to be, like, 3,000 word minimum. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm also, like, planning on that. I'm planning on having the ability to explain my premise. Right now, it's obviously kind of spastic, but, like, yeah, we'll have it down. I'm not worried about us. It's gonna be good. Yeah, I am kind of glad I shifted mine now. That way we don't have two really similar stories. All demons owe an eternal debt to a god. Coming summer. Cowboys. Actually, you didn't say a title yet. You said it was like Cowboys versus Demons, which again, great premise. That could be the title. That could be the title, and you'd get away with it. All demons owe an eternal debt to a god. That's kind of like, I hate to do this. I hate to be that guy, but like in Dungeons and Dragons, you've got devils and demons, and devils. I think devils are the ones who, like, they function in that way. Like if you yeah, it is devils, because that's why there are archdevils. Like when you when you become a devil, or like a pawn of a devil, you kind of like start out at the lowest level of hell, and you have to work your way up. D&D, it's gotta be like the best fandom to have been part of as a kid, because now as a you know, arguably maturing adult, I can recognize, like, there's more, but still appreciate D&D. I've been really into Dungeon Crawl Classics as a system lately, which is another really, like, true to the source material type of thing. And I know a lot of people don't care about that nowadays, because Dungeons and Dragons has evolved so much, and what it is now works perfectly for, like, so many people, and it's good and it's great. But, like, sometimes the itch to just be like a farmer with a rusty pickaxe going down into a cave, with, like, the looming threat of death, because, you know, unless you're playing specifically, like, you know, a campaign that's like that, there is no threat of death in D&D. Like, that's pretty much built up to give you, like, oh, saving throw, oh, ally can help, oh, all that, which is fun. It's good for D&D, but, like, having a system where if you roll bad, you die, and that's, like, the whole point, is great. I love that. Have I read Dungeon Crawler Carl? I have not. Is this a book? Because I like books. I'll read a book. If you tell me a book is good, I'll read it. Even if I don't like the book. No, I won't lie to you. I will read it, and I will give it a fair shake. I had to do that a lot. It is a book. I'm gonna keep going. Let me read it. Not on Goodreads. Goodreads is, I don't like Goodreads very much. Ooh, it's an audiobook too. I like audiobooks. I've been trying to, like, get into audiobooks. I love this guy's cover art. Oh, hey, sorry, Revan. Dungeon Crawler Carl's not a good book. Somebody said it right there. So, Well, guess I can't read it now. Sorry. No, I'm totally kidding. That probably came off as more serious than I meant it to. I will put this in my Amazon cart. I'll go to Goodreads. I'll read the title or the description. A man, his ex-girlfriend's cat, a sadistic game show unlike anything in the universe. A dungeon crawl where survival depends on killing your prey in the most entertaining way possible. I hit more and it shows me nothing. That's cool. I love these other covers are really sweet too. This looks like something that Mel would like. This is a Mel Odom book cover right here. There's so many books in the series. I love this. I love finding series that are complete, unless this isn't complete. It says the book 7. I'm not gonna read any of this. Book 7. I wonder if that's the last one. Because that's the thing. Waiting for a series to conclude so you can like finish it is agonizing to me, and I absolutely can't do it. So if that's the full series and I can just start reading them, like, I'm down. I'm so down. That's awesome. I'm going to catalog this on Amazon. I'll do it on my phone. I never use Amazon on my computer. Okay, what else? What else was there? Somebody else said something. Tell my players that you were talking about there's no threat of death. No, I don't. Yeah, no. I'm sure I've seen your shorts. Roll 3d6. Yeah. Like roll another 3d6. Okay, one more. I've never gotten to kill a player. I say that like it's like a luxury or like a special treat to get to kill a player. But like when I run D&D with my friends, it's like we're all kind of beginner players. I've been a DM for longer than I've been a player. So it's like I'm not going to punish, and I'm also not going to like, try to make it easy. But it's like we were running the box set. Which one was it? The Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. That one is already built to be easy, just as like an introduction. You can play around with the mechanics. You have to fight the zombified Kraken that's being controlled by the Myconids. And then you have to fight those little dudes with the blood-sucking proboscis thing. What are those called? I don't remember what they're called. It's going to bug me. I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. and go, the monster. But my point is, yeah, that's never happened. The other times I've run D&D were at conventions and like the Adventurers League. It lets you adjust the adventures for difficulty, and every time I'd get a table, it was like, we never played D&D before. We're just at this convention and we want to play D&D. So I'm not going to go, all right, you walk into a room, saving throw. A 4 fails, you die. Like, I'm not going to do that. And the enemies were also adjusted for difficulty. So like, somebody got boogered up by a hag one time, and there were zombies also happening, and somebody went, I think, to their first death save before somebody killed the hag, and kind of ended the adventure. That's as close as we got. That the person was I believe it was a mom. It was a mom, a dad, and their daughter who were playing, and she was role playing like a seasoned veteran. I was like, "You've never played D&D before?" It was awesome. Currently reading Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I bought because my cousin wanted those books for Christmas, and I bought her that series. And when I bought them, the guy at Barnes & Noble was like, dude, you're gonna love these books. I was like, all right, cool. I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm not reading these books. They're not for me. I didn't want to be like that. I was just like, oh, cool. I can't wait. Because apparently they're really cool, and like, I need to read them. I bought them for her. I could have kept them and just been like, ooh, you didn't tell me this was like a good book. So I will definitely check those out. It's fantasy. Like it's a fantasy world. The Mistborn. It's got to be. I really did not read the back cover very hard, I guess. Easily the best fantasy. All right. Can't wait to start his big series, The Stormlight Archive. Rachel has talked about the Stormlight Archive, so that's cool. I will definitely be adding those to my repertoire. Dad the Dungeon Master says, I let a guy have 4 chances and he failed a DC 10 save 4 times in a row. At that point, you gotta throw your dice in the trash. That sucks. Oh man. Yeah, though that'll happen though. Like that happens exactly when you want it to, and then also when you don't. Mistborn is amazing. All right, we're repping it. We're repping Mistborn. All right, my hands are tied. I gotta get Dungeon Crawler Carl, and the Mistborn series. That's so good. I have so many books that I started and haven't finished that are kind of like fantasy. It's not really fantasy. Like it's urban fantasy, but Jim Butcher with Stormfront, that one, I read the first couple chapters and just never got back to it. But like, since Jim Butcher is such a notable alum, I need to read his stuff. That is on my list. Mistborn series, Dungeon Crawler Carl are on my list. I'm glad we did this. If I get nothing out of streaming, if this doesn't go anywhere, if I do this for 16 weeks and nothing happens, we'll see. But at least I will have 2 cool new series to read. That's my takeaway. On that note, this was a good session. Between this one and the other one, this is like almost 3 hours. I feel pretty good, but also my head hurts and I am hungry, so I'm out of pickles and carrots, so I'm gonna have to go fix that problem. But my TBR, your books, yeah. You need books. You got to read more books. I got you. I don't know what is the acronym TBR. I feel like I should know that. Yeah, duh. Okay. Thank you for dumbing that down for me. So large, a lot more books for Catfic. Yes. Okay, before I stop, let's talk about Catfic for a second, because wow, every book that we read in that class was really cool, and not all of them I liked. I will say that all of them were cool and very unique, and all of them really kind of challenged my preconceptions about the genres that I had not read. For example, the romance novel. Have you bought your books yet? Because I think she's repeating a couple of them, and I'm probably never going to read some of them again, so I can save you some money if you want. I can give these to you. She gave us the list in advance, so I say that to mean like if you have the list or if you get it on, when class starts. And okay, yeah. Well, if you're gonna if you're gonna buy them on day one, which is what I did, let me know what the list is, and I'll see if I can hook you up. But yeah, all of them were really cool, unique ideas, and I remember. Okay, so yeah, it was a romance novel, a mystery, a fantasy, a horror novel, and young adult. No, it was middle grade. I get that mixed up a lot. Middle grade fiction. It was like a book written specifically for tweens. So that was my favorite one of the series that we read, because like had a very strong character voice. The main character was really likable. The story overall was just really good. The horror one also, like all the horror books you read are going to be good. I don't know if you read a lot of horror. I don't remember. Because I know we've talked about a lot of books in the time that I've known you. So if you like horror, if it's the same horror novel, you'll like it. I'm sure it's going to be haunting. It's going to be good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you should. If it's the same one, you should like it. That was my Like if I had to actually recommend that one to somebody, I would. I'm not gonna recommend that everybody read like the middle grade novel just because it's like maybe I don't know. That's probably one of the ones that you would go. I'd rather read something about space pirates, you know. But basically, yeah, it's a good class. It's a good class, and it's a great supplement for like your other writing classes. So like reading that, writing the novel alongside of it, that's going to be awesome for you. Definitively. All right. I'm discovering things about myself. This is like I'm reaching the point of screen usage where it's like, but I haven't even been. You know what? The problem is because it's because like I don't usually talk this much when I'm staring at my computer. So this is like a different kind of like feeling. So I'm gonna have to get some blue light glasses maybe or something, and maybe a lozenge. Top 3 streaming things I need right now: a second monitor, and a pack of Cherry Halls, and some blue light glasses or something. This is so much fun, and I'm so excited to do this all semester long. It's gonna be great. So we're closing this out. A lot of spastic work done on this. My next stream tomorrow will be focusing primarily on Save the Cat. So for those of you unfamiliar with that format, how to write a novel. We're going to deep dive into like the workshop aspects of it. So I hope to see you there. If not, I'll catch you when I catch you. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. I can name every viewer I had today. I had so many more than I was expecting, but it's so few that I can remember them all. So thank you, Micah, for tuning in. Thank you, Tori, the amazing screw up, for tuning in. That sounds rude, but that's her name. Thank you, number 13th, for tuning in. Again, if I know you in real life, tell me, and we'll say hi. I'll say hi to you. Thank you, Dad the Dungeon Master, and his better half, Stormy Skies, for dropping in to the stream. Thank you, Revan OW, and thank you to Clark's Films Entertainment for the not just this, but like for the all the other collaborations. Also, thank you, the engineer, who said they were going to come back and didn't, but that's okay. I will hold him to that next time. The engineer. And that's the game, folks. This has been Maps and Morons, stream 1 of many. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.